My father died defending our home, our village, our country. I too wanted to fight, but we are Buddhist. People say we should be peaceful and non-violent. So I forgive our enemy. But sometimes I feel I betrayed my father.
As we enter this modern era where nations struggle to monopolize the world's natural resources, humanity is subjected to violent conflict and militarism. We live in a world of escalating violence, an era where the fear of terrorism is countered with deadly force. It is unsettling and unnerving to see the Tibetan exiles in India and in other parts of the world seeking independence for their country from the People's Republic of China, a nation with one of the largest military arsenals in the world.
But sometimes all I want to do is get away.
You say you want to end terrorism and you want to have peace, and yet you are completely addicted to violence and armies, and you're ready to bomb everybody and have a fight, and yet all of your bombing and fighting has done nothing but increase the level of terrorism and violence. If you kill some terrorists, then 10 more spring up to take their place. It's really like an ancient Buddhist lesson.
Tibetan situation is a pawn in global politics.
Due to globalization, all the countries are interrelated. They are heavily dependent on each other because of business. And money is the mantra today all over the world. And therefore aspirations of freedom for Tibetan people is a very small issue for all these countries.
If ever the Chinese come to know that their own cadres, their own army, their own police killed more than 1 million Tibetans just to keep Tibet under China's control, I don't think ordinary Chinese will feel happy about it, or they would forgive their own governments.
The reason that the European Union and the United States are so interested in the Tibet situation right now, it's a pawn. They realize that they now have a huge power in China that is going to oppose them economically, and so this is the new type of warfare, is the economic scale.
The story of Tibet, though, has been hidden by propaganda and by diplomatic lies of other countries. And therefore people have been led to believe that Tibet did not exist. It's some kind of state of China's or some minority within China, all these Chinese propaganda terms.
The Americans, what are the Americans going to do? And all these other European countries and other world powers. They're too scared of losing the Chinese business. The Chinese have got everyone in a stranglehold with their completely ridiculous, business bullshit. They're strangling the whole world with their stupid inferior products, kids' toys with like lead and poison and all this kind of stuff going on. The Chinese have to be shamed into this, and this Olympics is bringing it out.
Amongst the oldest civilizations of the world, China introduced a phased, market-oriented economy in late 1978 to uplift the living standards of its people. With a $3.45 trillion GDP, China has now become the fourth largest economy.
That Chinese are something very big, very powerful. We should not take them head on. So that is unfortunately almost every government thinking like that.
Most Chinese people are not in favor of the Chinese Communist government. You go to Beijing, you listen to what the people say. They don't like this. They consider this way crazy, outdated, fascist bullshit. That's for sure.
Majority of countries don't even vote in favor of a resolution which only says in United Nations Human Rights Council that let us discuss what is happening under Chinese control on human rights.
The puzzles the Chinese, they don't understand. They think everyone must be state-sponsored and everybody must be obedient to a superior and following orders. So that's another reason the Chinese wrongly think this is just the work of some small faction of people, which is not true. It's the majority, it's all of the Tibetan people, mostly.
And what are the Chinese going to do during the Olympics? They're the ones who can really stage a demonstration, just like they did in Tiananmen Square. Only this time, the Chinese cannot go out there and just shoot them all in front of the entire world at the Olympics.
Now we are reaching the Indo-Nepal border. It's called Joljubi, and you can see that river. It's Kali River that's flowing. That comes from Tibet, origins from Tibet, and flows through this area. And this river partitions the two countries between Nepal and India. So it's very near, 80-90 kilometers. Even the landscape is changing slowly, and it's always a great feeling.